as I just always as I always mention about to realize who you are is so easy to say, but so difficult to attain the reality of who we are. But it's the most valuable things for us to do. The most valuable things to do. The reason why is what we're just thinking about who we are is, oh no, I made a mistake. What we just thinking about ourselves is entirely, totally different from the true ourselves. That's reason the Shakyamuni Buddha or the patriarchs just recommended us to do that. Doesn't it is the only way we'll be able to just realize who we are. That much doesn't is so important, so valuable to do. Okay, because we are exactly we ourselves. We are exactly we ourselves. No doubt at all. No doubt at all. The thing is, if we are ourselves, we don't know much about who we are. This is a totally problem. Total problem. That's reason we have to do something. And if you just sincerely, continually, constantly, if you can do that, then eventually you'll be able to just realize who you are. That's a great joy, because you'll be able to just realize the reality. That reality is entirely different from what we are thinking about, what the reality is. Right now. Reality is right now. Right now, right here. If we are just exactly being right now, right here. Once I ask you, where you are, you don't know much about what I'm just asked. What I asked, where you are, is what you think. It's totally different from what you're thinking about. Right now, right here, nothing exists. Nothing exists. But right now, right here. That's right now, right here. Nothing exists. But right now, right here. That's kind of right now, right here. Okay. So today's the text. Today's what what it is. What it is. Maybe no. So it just it's giving me a kind of trouble. It doesn't trouble. What about this? Yamawa sensei will be all right. It'll be all right. Okay, thanks so much. So today's what the Gienro is saying is a number 20, number 24. The reality. Even we are just now. We are just in reality right now, right here. But you don't know much about what true reality is. This is a total problem for us. You see, even we are exactly right now, right here. This is a reality. But when I ask you what reality is, you may just ask, you may answer, what is reality? Then you'll be able to explain what the reality is. But that's a totally different. Right now, as I just mentioned about right now, right here is nothing at all. Nothing at all. See, you never be able to recognize right now, right here. That's the reason. You'll be able to say anything about what's right now, right here. Nothing at all. Nothing exists at all. This is reality. So what what Jinen Roshi just mentioned about, what Jinen Roshi just teaching us, what the reality, what the reality is. The other side, excuse me, maybe I need some glasses. Sorry to say, Betty-san, I'm becoming old. I'm becoming older. Maybe 100,000, no. Okay. Okay. The other side comes out when you establish the standard as a self on this side. What it says is, see, when you just recognize this, when you recognize this, at the same time, you recognize this. You see, before you recognize this will never exist at all. Nowhere exists. When you just recognize this, then, as I always mention about what's happened is there is two things that's coming out. One thing, these things being recognized, and this one, the person who just recognized. You see, before you recognize, see, this one, nothing exists. Nowhere exists. See, once you just recognize this things just come out. Almost same time. When you just recognize this is just all the same time it's come out. Before you recognize this nothing exists at all. This is reality. See? So as I just mentioned about before, once you recognize this, and this just come out. Before you recognize this, nothing exists at all. Nothing exists at all. This is reality. These things, the Jinen Roshi mentioned about like the other side comes out when you establish the standards as a self on this side. See, you just recognize this, then you just these things become standard. Then people just think about this because of this, and this one just comes out. This is not true. This is not true. You see, you just recognize this, then this one just come out. You see, before you recognize this, you see, this one, nothing exists. You see, this is the reality. What people just thinking about it because of this, then this one just say this, and this one come out. This is not true. This one, because you recognize this one come out. Before you recognize this one, nothing exists. The other side comes out when you establish the standard as a self on this side. Then this side just come out. This is not true. Such as such as subjects and objects are mentioned in concept. People just say, "Oh, this is a subject. This is an object," but this is these things that happen in your mind, in your thinking, and this thought. That is not true. Totally misunderstanding. You see, before you recognize this no subjects. See, and before recognize this one is not an object. There is nothing exists at all. Even subjects, objects, subjects, nothing at all. Then once you recognize this becomes object, and this becomes subject. Thus, this thing just happen in your mind. You see, this is not reality. Here is right now, right here is there is no subject, no objects at all. You see, just take a look very carefully right now, right here. No object, no subject. See, this is a very sensible thing. That's the people completely be deceived by thinking and thought. People don't know much about what I said because see what just happened. What's just happening in your mind is always objects and subjects. See, you always we just always recognize objects and subjects with thinking or thought or by thinking and thought. That is not true. That's a creation of thinking and thought. That's the reason we just easily just recognize objects and subjects. But this is later. Before you just recognize this and this, there is nothing concerned with the objects and subjects, nothing at all. Then once you just recognize this, and this one becomes an object, and this one becomes a subject. This is a creation of the thinking. So it's a total misunderstanding. Such as subjects and objects are mentioned, but this is not true. However, when we look carefully as for eyes, there only exist the things on the other side. When you just say this one only exists. This one nothing exists at all. So take a look at it very carefully. When you see this, only this. See, only this doesn't mean anything about objects or subjects. Only this. See, then you just all the same time you just recognize this one. Then this one and this one are completely separated, divided, discreted by thinking and thought. That's the creation. This is not true. This is only just the imagination of thinking and thought. This is not totally. This is not totally true. Truth. That's just a kind of a creation, imagination of thinking and thought. Reality. Reality is when you see death, this, nothing else, nothing else anymore, only death. See, but what are what are the happening in our mind is when you just see this at the same time, kind of a person just come out, all almost same time. Then you just oh, this is the same. This is the same. That kind of recognition just happen. Yeah. That is not true. When you see death, only death. See, very carefully, just to take a look at what you are doing. When looking at things on the other side, oh, excuse me. Okay, intending to compare with it. When you look back this side, the things other side has gone. When you see that, then what I just mentioned about in our concept, in our thinking of ourselves, just almost same time, the things just happen. The things compared with this just happen. See? So that that's the reason people just that's the reason people just totally misunderstand what's the happen is the both things just happen in your mind at the same time. Both things, this and this, both things. But that is another thing, as I just mentioned. When I just see this, just these things just happen. Only these things just happen. See, this is a very sensitive thing. So people easily just be deceived. A human being said two things and compare them and gram. See, as I just mentioned, when you just see this one, only reality is only this one. Reality is only this one. But in your mind, just as the things you just try to compare it. That kind of things just happen. So two things or three things or four things just happen. And you try to compare all. That is another. That is not reality. That reality is just as it is. As it is. What you're just thinking about in your mind is nothing happening right now. Reality. In the reality, nothing happened. See what you are thinking about in your mind, just as it is. Human beings said two things or three things or four things, and they try to compare them, and grumble. Oh, this is true. This is this. This is this. This is. See, always just always. I don't want to just people thinking always not this and not this. Always have a kind of the kind of the other things that you try to compare is always just happen. So two or three things at the same time happen. Then you try to compare whatever you just. That is another true. That's reality. Reality is as I just faced. Only this, nothing else anymore. So that again, Roshi just teaching us very carefully look at what it is. The things just happening right now is nothing concerned with what we are thinking about in our mind, in our thinking. It's totally different as it is. Just in the reality, there is the things as it is. There is a thing happening as it is. As it is. Don't be deceived. Human beings said two things and compare them and grumble. But the reality is falls not to be able to compare. Because as it is. Only as it is. See, nothing happened. Nothing come out, other things that you just try to compare. Nothing comes out. Nothing comes out as it is. See? Always as it is. Always as it is. Always as it is. So you never be confused because always as it is. Nothing happened. The things you just try to compare. Nothing happened. It's always as it is. As it is. As it is. See? So you never be confused at all. Even you just want to confuse, it's impossible to be confused because of things as it is. Always just come out as it is. When you, yes, that is the truth of ourselves. You see, always one thing. Oneness. Only is oneness. Only is one thing. See, always see, one thing just come out. Only one thing just come out. See, so there is nothing concerned with the things you try to compare. That kind of things never come out. See, very carefully look at. But in your mind, see. Or the same time, the kind of things you just try to just compare, just come out. Then you try to compare. That's a source of a trouble question. You see, there is nothing. There is nothing what you're thinking about the things you just wanna or try to compare. There is nothing coming out. This is a very important thing, you see. So very carefully take a look at what's going on here. That's what's going on here. It's a nothing concerned with your thinking or thought, but actually it is. This is the reality. That is the truth of ourselves. Mean this is the truth of universe. This is the truth of universe. This function, as I mentioned before, this function, this action, only this action, only this action or this function just happening right now, right here. Just happens in whole universe. Only this function, what you're thinking about. That's that's kind of illusion, delusion, just happening in your mind, only in your mind. That's kind of delusion or illusion or whatever we sound. That's just happening only in your mind. Nothing concerned with what's just happening in the universe. When you stood, you stood. When you sit, you sit. Very simple. When you stand, when you stood, nothing concerned with the sit. See, only standing, only standing. That's it. See, never happened sitting at the same time. Only when you sit, when you stand, that's it. See, now at the same time, it's the same time, never happened. You said, see, this is the truth of the universe. See, as long as the universe, as the whole universe, see, nothing happened. The two or three things, only one, always one, as it is. So we never just confuse because as it is. Never happen, never confuse because the thing never happened. What you thinking about the things you just try to, we just try to compute. Always very simple as it is. See, that's kind of a very easy, easiest way we'll be able to, easiest way we'll be able to just live in right now, right here. Nothing trouble at all, nothing question at all, because the things what we just compared never happen, never come out. Always as it is, always as it is. When you stood, you stood. When you sit, you sit. That's it. Nothing more anymore. Nothing other. Nothing others anymore. You cannot do standing and sitting at the same time with this body. See? Always when you sit, you sit. When you eat, you eat. When you drink, you drink. Very simple. Why we have to be confused? What we are thinking about? Oh, the troubles never happen because such a simple way. That's a such a simplest way we are doing right now, right here. So that very carefully take a look at yourself, what you are doing right now. Very simple, very simple. We have the habit to establish on objects. This is a late. This is a late. But when you recognize this, before you recognize this, nothing happened at all. Nothing happened. Then you recognize this. Then you recognize this. See what it is. At the same time, this one just happened. Before you just recognize this, see, this one never happened. As long as this will never happen, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Oh. This is the truth of the universe. This is the truth of the universe. We have the habit to establish and always. This thing just happen in your thinking mind, in your mind. This is a creation of the thinking of a thought. This is the imagination of thinking of a thought. This is the delusion and the illusion. Nothing concerned with truth at all. Nothing concerned with truth at all. That's creation of thinking. But the people just think that is the truth. That is the truth. Well, see, the things just happening in your mind, people just think that is the truth. Then people just try to figure out people just confused. Why people have to be confused? Because that is not truth. That's the reason people have to be confused. Truth. You never be confused because truth as it is. One, you never just confuse. You never be able to just confuse with oneness as it is, because that's it. Only that's it. Never happened 2 or 3 things. Just sitting means the own reality of now. When you sit, that's it. Nothing else anymore. When you sit, that's it. Nothing happen anymore. If things just happen, more like a sitting. That's a creation of thinking. That's a delusion. Illusion. That is not true. See, the reality is just sitting. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing other. Our reality of now. My leg hurt. Is it painful? And so on. All of them are called shikantaza, just sitting. So even just you think my heart is my legs hurt. This is the kind of thinking and thought just coming out in your mind. But that is a reality. This moment, this right now, right here. That's the reality of right now, right here. Reality never change the world, but you don't need to change it because your reality. But the thing is, you never be able to just accept this reality, by your thinking. So see, because the thinking and because thinking and thought is not the truth, not truth. That's the reason the thing you never be able to just accept this reality, this truth by your thinking, because the thinking or thought is not truth. If the thinking and the thought is the truth, you simply accept this reality. Oh. You said that the spirit. You said that the spirit of the ancestor is restless. Who did admit it is being unlaid? The laid one is you who are alive. See, people say, oh, that person already passed away. The thing is, the person who just passed away is never passed away, but that it is. But people say, oh, he's passed away. See, person who just faced the kind of person who died, then this person say he just passed away. This person never say, I'm alive, I'm dead, I'm died. This person never says it. People just say so. That is another thing. This is not a reality. That is another truth. People say that's that is death. That is death. You see, the person who died never says so. Never says so. People just say, see, people just admit it. Admit that is the death. That is a death. See, in his concept, in his thinking, person who died just never says, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm just alive. Never says so. The reality means just now. See, that's reason. That's reason. If you think, oh, this is reality, this is right now, that is not right now. Reality is, see, reality. Never be able to just aware, never be able to be aware of what it is. See, that much so swiftly just change. Reality is that much swiftly just changing. Hundreds thousand changing in a moment. See, with your thinking or thought, by your thinking or thought. See, once or twice impossible. Once change, or one changing in a second, maybe impossible to face other than follow or chase. See, but this, what you call, what you're thinking about the human body, this is not, this is a Dharma body. This is entirely different from what you're thinking about the human body. This is so super, tremendous, huge, the what do you call the mind, body, but this is not a body. What you're thinking about as yourself, this is the Dharma body. As far as this Dharma body, even hundreds thousand change in a second, or 200,000 changing in a moment, in a second, will be completely face, the chase to, or completely just follow. That's changing. This much, this body, Dharma body is super, so huge, so uncountable, incredible huge. These kind of things you have. So you don't need to worry about it at all. This is a more, much huge. This one is much more huge than, or larger than what you think about the universe. Even universe just come out on this body, human body. This one is so huge, so tremendous huge one. The reality means just not. So you never be able to just aware of what right now. Also, you don't need to necessarily to aware of, be aware of what the truth is, because you are right now itself. You are right now itself, so that you don't need to just be aware of what other right now is, and it's impossible to realize, or it's impossible to realize what the truth, what's right now, right here, because you are right now, right here itself. It is a false idea. It is a false idea to seek now, but now. So that's as I mentioned about. It's not necessary to be aware of, what what now is, and it is impossible to be aware of what right now is, because because of because you are right now, right here itself. Ah, this is the conclusion. Hi. Today's are the what's the Jinen Roshi mentioned of the teachers is very important, as long as we just realize who we are, as long as we just wanna just do zazen, you see, because people just totally misunderstand who we are. We just what people just try to do is because the reason why we just do zazen is we just realize what we just realize to realize who we are by zazen. This is not a this is not a true. This is not a true attitude to the zazen. See, we are reality itself. We are reality itself. The reality itself is what just Dogen, Zen Master Dogen just mentioned. Teachers, we are complete and universal. We are completely universal. So we don't need to do anything. We don't do well, in fact, we don't need to do anything. So, but when I say we are just complete and universal, well, you never be able to accept what I say. That's reason. That's the reason we have to do. We have to do zazen until you will be able to just accept what I say. That's it. Hi. This zazen. This zazen. We are already complete and universal. Okay, so that we don't need to do anything. See, what the people just want to do is we just want to do wanna be like this, like that, because the people just what people feel is this one is incomplete, incomplete, and just like what we think about the human being. That's the reason we just try to do dozen, and then we just wanna make this one the complete, but totally misunderstanding. This is already this one is already complete and universal. That's the reason we don't need to do anything. But as long as you just accept this, as long as you cannot admit this, that's the reason you just try to do the other. Then you'll be able to just completely admit, oh, nothing. We are completely needed without doing anything. This is a conclusion. That's much. The Shakyamuni Buddha and the patriarchs just ask us to do that. If you just sincerely, completely, sincerely and constantly, continually do that, you'll be able to have this conclusion. You just come up to this conclusion. Hi, congratulations. Congratulations, Betty-san. Indianness. So maybe next month we'll be able to just have a same, same. Congratulations. Okay, so see you next time. Have a good sitting. Have a good sitting. はい、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
Muchas gracias. Danke schön.